One variety show from the 1970s was so outrageous, it raised eyebrows across America and pushed the boundaries of primetime TV.
She's a little bit of a grown woman. She's a little bit of child.
But here's the twist. That same show accidentally launched the careers of 5 future superstars and changed how America thought about entertainment forever. Today, I'm counting down 10 forgotten variety shows that helped define the 1970s. The musical spectacles that could make families gather around the TV faster than you could say, and now, ladies and gentlemen, these weren't just shows. They were weekly rituals. They were celebrations of a time when bigger was better, louder was awesome, and too much glitter was just the right amount. From toe-tapping music to perfectly timed punchlines, from wild costumes to heartfelt moments, these shows gave us variety, in every sense of the word. Let's dive in. Number 10. The Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show, 1974 to 75.
It's the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show. Starring Bill, Mark, and Brett, the Hudson Brothers.
What happens when you give 3 musical brothers a Saturday morning time slot and 0 adult supervision? You get the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show. Bill, Brett, and Mark Hudson weren't just musicians. They were chaos in polyester. Imagine the Monkees meets Monty Python, if both had been filtered through a box of Cap'n Crunch. Their CBS variety show was a blur of original songs, slapstick sketches, absurd characters, and hyperactive humor. Designed for kids, but weird enough to make adults wonder if they'd accidentally dropped acid in their coffee. It only lasted 1 season, and yet for those who watched, it burned brightly and bizarrely. A perfect example of how the 70s took risks that modern TV wouldn't dare. Number 9. The Mac Davis Show, 1974 to 76.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble.
Mac Davis wasn't just a country star. He was a crossover phenomenon with Elvis Presley songwriting credits and a smile that could charm an entire audience. His NBC variety show was a laid-back mix of music and humor, with a signature Southern warmth that set it apart from the glitzy chaos of other primetime offerings. He'd welcome stars like Dolly Parton and Ray Charles, crack jokes, sing heartfelt ballads, and occasionally poke fun at himself, all while wearing rhinestones you could see from space. It was homespun, but not hokey, polished, but still personal. And in an era of big personalities, Mac Davis's quiet confidence made him one of the most likable hosts on TV. Number 8. The Bobby Goldsboro Show, 1973 to 75.
I think you're using me till you find someone new.
Best known for his tearjerker ballad, Honey, Bobby Goldsboro surprised audiences with a variety show that leaned into sweetness, sincerity, and subtle humor. Syndicated across the country, the Bobby Goldsboro Show offered musical performances, celebrity guests, and a surprising dose of family-friendly charm. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, but it had heart, and it had Bobby's signature warmth, which made the whole thing feel like a calm break from an increasingly chaotic world. It also helped prove that not all variety shows needed to scream to be heard. Sometimes, a little tenderness stood out more than 1,000 sequins. Number 7. The Midnight Special, 1973 to 81. Imagine a time before music videos, before MTV. Now imagine turning on your TV at midnight on a Friday and seeing real, live, raw performances from David Bowie, Aretha Franklin, ABBA, or Earth, Wind and Fire. That was the Midnight Special. Airing after The Tonight Show, it was the place where rock met soul. Disco shared the stage with funk, and punk flirted with pop. And in the middle of it all was Wolfman Jack, part host, part myth, and all personality. Unlike the lip-synced appearances on American Bandstand, the Midnight Special insisted on live vocals, making it feel more like a concert than a TV show. It launched careers, revived others, and bridged the gap between TV and youth culture in a way few shows ever have. Number 6. The Tony Orlando and Dawn Show, 1974 to 76.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Tony Orlando, Thelma Hopkins, and Joyce Vincent Wilson, collectively known as Dawn, were a pop trio with infectious hits and even more infectious chemistry. On their CBS show, they brought songs like Knock 3 Times and Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree to life with elaborate choreography, comedy sketches, and more sequins than Studio 54 on a Saturday night. But what made it work wasn't just the sparkle, it was the friendship. These three genuinely liked each other, and it showed. They could dance, sing, and land a punchline, all within the same scene. And in a decade that loved its razzle-dazzle, they delivered it with heart. Number 5. The Captain and Tennille Show, 1976 to 77.
The Captain and Tennille, with guest stars Penny Marshall.
If opposites attract, the Captain and Tennille Show was proof. Tony Tennille was radiant, warm, and vocally stunning. Daryl Dragon, aka the Captain, was stoic, silent, and always in his signature shades and hat. ABC gave the duo a variety show following their massive hit, Love Will Keep Us Together. And the result was part musical review, part sitcom, and part love letter to their quirks as a couple. While some sketches were silly, others were surprisingly sweet, playing off their real-life relationship in a way that felt intimate and sincere. And when they sang together, magic. It only lasted a season, but it remains one of the most authentic, understated shows of the genre. Before we get to the top 4, take a second and hit that like button if this list is bringing back memories. And let us know in the comments, which of these forgotten variety shows do you remember watching? Did you tune in for the music, the comedy, the costumes, or were you just waiting for your favorite star to guest host? Either way, subscribe for more retro deep dives. It'll really help us out. Now, let's get back to the countdown. Number 4, The Jacksons, 1976 to 77.
They are Randy and Tito and Jackie and Marlon and Michael, and they are the Jacksons.
After parting ways with Motown, the Jackson 5, now the Jacksons, launched a primetime variety show on CBS. Michael, Tito, Jackie, Marlon, and Randy, Jermaine stayed behind, brought their iconic dance moves, harmonies, and sibling banter to living rooms nationwide. What made the Jacksons especially fascinating was timing. Michael was 18 and on the verge of redefining pop music forever, but still performing family-friendly sketches with his brothers. The show was energetic, upbeat, and surprisingly relatable. Behind the choreography, you could see the dynamics of a real family, complete with rivalries, inside jokes, and moments of tenderness. It only lasted one season, but it gave us a snapshot of one of music's most famous families, just before everything changed. Number 3, The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, 1971 to 74.
I see bad times today. Whoa, I said don't go around tonight.
They sang together, they joked together, they roasted each other relentlessly. The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour was a masterclass in romantic tension and razor-sharp timing. Sonny played the lovable goofball. Cher played, well, Cher. Stylish, sarcastic, and lethal with a punchline. Their banter was so iconic that their opening monologues became the highlight of each episode, more anticipated than the musical acts. After their divorce, a reunion show tried to recapture the magic, but lightning like that doesn't strike twice. They may have broken up, but for 3 brilliant seasons, they were TV gold. Number 2, Donnie and Marie, 1976 to 79.
She's a little bit of full-grown woman. She's a little bit of child.
I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. That line wasn't just their theme, it was their entire brand. Donnie and Marie Osmond were squeaky clean, endlessly talented, and somehow made it cool to be a little square. Their show had skating, sparkling costumes, wholesome jokes, guest stars galore, and a sibling dynamic that was equal parts heartwarming and hilarious. It was the kind of show you could watch with your grandma, your younger siblings, and your teenage crush, and everyone would find something to love. Donnie and Marie were the definition of primetime comfort food in a decade that needed it. Number 1, The Carol Burnett Show, 1967 to 78. Carol Burnett didn't just host a variety show, she built a television landmark. With a cast that included Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, Vicki Lawrence, and Lyle Waggoner, The Carol Burnett Show blended musical numbers, character-driven sketches, physical comedy, and heart, like nothing before or since. It gave us legendary parodies like Went with the Wind, unforgettable recurring characters like Eunice and Mama, and moments where the cast broke into uncontrollable laughter, and so did we. The Q&A segment with the audience made Carol feel approachable. The chemistry among the cast made us feel like part of the family. 11 years, 25 Emmys, countless laughs. This wasn't just the best variety show of the 70s. It might have been the best ever. These 10 variety shows didn't just fill time slots. They defined a generation. They were loud, weird, glittery, and fun, but also sincere, vulnerable, and filled with joy. They brought families together in a way few things do anymore. No rewinds, no skipping ahead, just sitting on the couch, all eyes on the screen, and all hearts in the same place. From Carol Burnett's Curtain Call, to Donnie and Marie's sibling harmony, to Wolfman Jack's Midnight Howl. These shows were more than entertainment. They were memories. Thanks for taking this trip back to the golden age of variety television. We'll see you next time. Same channel.